Now remember, we're going to take a look at these many-to-many relationships between, say, order and product, or quote and product, and figure out how to create the linking table we need. In many cases, the nature of the transaction itself dictates how you should do that. And that's going to be the case here. So let's see how that will be done. So we've got our products, and we're going to start looking at some of the attributes that we're going to be dealing with. So for our products, we've got our product number, we've got our description, and we've got our current quantity on hand. And product number is going to be our primary key. All right, now we've got orders over here. Let's see how we're going to set that up. We'll have order number. That's our primary key. We've got the order date. We've got the customer who's ordering. That's going to be a foreign key. And we may have the order total. Then we need to start thinking about, well, what is in this order? What items am I ordering? And you could think back to some of the transaction forms you may have used or seen in previous exercises in other courses. So for a journal entry, you've got the header information for the journal entry, the date, the description for the journal entry itself. And then you've got the actual debits and the credits, and there could be just a couple debits and credits, or there could be a dozen or more debits and credits, the actual lines in the journal entry. And the same things with a purchase order or a sales order. The sales order from a customer on a particular date could have one item on it, could have 5 items on it, could have 100. Well, we don't want to set up every potential combination of orders in this orders table. Remember, database normalization and the efficiency objective for setting up databases dictates that we keep our information compact and very granular. So each table deals with one specific thing. Well, when we get to that level of detail, the one specific thing dealing with the items in a particular order needs to be split out into a separate table. All of those items in an order become a composition of data that gets accumulated into the order for transaction purposes, but that we're going to treat separately as a separate table down here. So we'll call this order items. And that's a composition of orders, or a composition of those gets accumulated into the order. So for our order items, we're going to have our product number. We're going to have our quantity ordered. And we'll have our price. But we need to be able to relate it back up to the order, so we need to actually include the order number as well. So by having that in both these, we're actually introducing a bit of redundancy, just like we do. We've got product number in there to associate with product number, so it lets us link. So order number in this case becomes a primary key, along with product number. So I have to know both of those fields to pick out one line of my order. And now my relationship becomes between order and order, or order number and order number, and product number and product number. So my order items are going to have a product number on them, and that product number, each product number is going to show up once and only once in my product table. And of course, for any product in the product table, it may show up 0 times on any order items. We may never get that product ordered, but it could also be ordered many times. So we now have our linking table for the orders side of things to take care of our database needs. And what we would do is we would end up doing something similar for the quotes to products relationship as well. Each quote is going to have potentially multiple quote items on it. So we will set up another composition between quotes and quote items that allows us to have that linking table to complete our database design. I guess one key to remember here is that we have basically turned that many-to-many relationship into 2 one-to-many relationships. So in this case, an order is always going to have at least one order item, one line item, but could have many. Each order item, each individual line item is going to show up on only one order. Each individual line item is only going to have one product ID on it, but each product ID may show up on multiple line items over time. All right, so we've turned that many-to-many relationship into 2 one-to-many relationships. One-to-many right there. One-to-many right there. And if you look, you can find tables with the listing of the actual database tables